Truth is, if you want a specific vocal sound, how you position yourself behind the microphone plays a very big part. If you want to record loud, yelling rock vocals or imitate a crowd, standing further from the mic gets the best results. If you want a quieter, more intimate vocal, get yourself super close to the mic. A pop filter does help you keep a good consistent distance from the microphone in general, but try not to keep the same distance every time. Yes, microphones can be faulty and there can be legitimate issues with any manufactured recording product, but at the end of the day, most microphones from $80 and up sound good enough for quality sounding vocal recordings. You're wasting your time if you don't prep first. Make sure you are truly happy with the lyrics you wrote. Set up your microphone properly, check to make sure your audio is not clipping. If your room is not well acoustically treated, use blankets or anything you can find to dampen the sound. This will only take 10 minutes and the difference it makes is huge. If you don't want to set up blankets every single time, you can get acoustic panels, and I'll make sure to link the ones that I use down in the description below. If you are recording vocals dry without any effect plugins on the track, you are limiting your vocal performance. Being able to hear a little bit of EQ, compression, reverb, and delay makes your vocal takes feel more like a performance rather than a dry, boring vocal recording in a booth. Remember, your vocal is still a dry recording because these effects plugins can be removed afterwards. So if you want a better vibe and performance when recording vocals, make sure you use effects.
To take it a step further, you can even enable pitch correction in your headphones using the free auto pitch feature here inside of BandLab. This will tune your vocals in your headphones while you're singing, as well as when you're playing back your recordings. And you can turn it on the heaviest setting, the lightest setting, or anywhere in between. You also have the ability to add a little bit of reverb to your headphone mix while you sing. Also, it helps while you're recording to have a metronome on there. And BandLab gives you this great menu of different metronome sounds, as well as volume control and count in length. So I'm just going to turn my click down a little bit to avoid it being too loud and interfering with my recordings. So let's turn up the reverb. And Kara, can you hear yourself?
Check 1, 2. Yes, I can.
Perfect. All right, let's take this from the very beginning. Select our recording channel and hit record.
You know just what I want. I know you got the body, the key to turn me on. I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
Perfect. Let's give this a listen with our auto pitch. And we can shorten this clip just by grabbing this little handle here and cutting it right before the vocal starts.
You know just what I want. I know you got the body, the key to turn me on. I'm on my way, I'm on my way. Already synchronized, don't gotta say it, baby. Live for it, do or die. I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
So I'm just gonna bring it back. There's one note that we messed up. I'm just gonna go to the slice button. Let's just make a little space here to record into. I just have to make a new audio track. I'll use a duplicate of this one. And we could just delete these pieces and record by selecting onto this track and pressing record.
I'm on my way. Already synchronized, don't gotta say it, baby.
Combine these two together, drag it straight up. So we've got our first little bit of a lead vocal here. And the only processing we have on it so far is the free auto pitch plugin. I might actually add a little bit more. I think for this style of music, the heavy tuning sounds cool, but everybody's song is different. So this is really going to be your personal taste. But over here, we have even more effects that we can add, like compression, EQ. I'm going to start with a little bit of EQ. Let's do the EQ3, very simple 3-band EQ. Let's just play it and mess with this.
Just what I want. I know you got the body, the key to turn me on. I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
Warmth sounds really nice down the low. And let's do a little bit of compression too. These are just two basic processes I always like to have on my vocals, just to have a more finished sounding mix to listen to your recordings back through.
You know just what I want. I know you got
just turn the ratio down.
the key to turn me on.
I like a slower attack and a faster release.
Synchronized, don't gotta say it, baby. Live for it, do or die. I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
And of course, we have our reverb here going through our reverb send. That's a perfect little chain for now. So let's just continue recording. We're going to get more into the plugins later, but I just love how they have this fully featured mixer here for you to listen through your headphones and listen back to your recordings. Finally, I want to add the little icing on the cake, the cherry on top, and that is the vocal ad-libs. So I'm going to create one more channel here at the very bottom, and this is going to be called our ad-libs. And we can put the panning in the center for now. And we're going to take it from the very top, and we're just going to sing whatever spontaneous little things come to mind to add personality or a memorable moment to the vocal.
Hey, oh, yeah. You know just what I want. I know you got the body, the key to turn me on. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, already synchronized. Don't gotta say it, baby. Before I do or die, I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
It's always good to record more options than you think you might need. Of course, you could always go and delete the ad-libs that felt extra later when you go and listen to it.
Let's add some reverb. In the effects panel, I add a reverb, studio reverb effect. I set the mix to 16% to give us just a touch of reverb on the vocal.
Love is here for you too. Everything you want is right here. I'll always hold your love so dear. Always hold your love so dear.
This touch of reverb sets the vocal a little back from the listener.
Doubles are an exact repeat of the main vocal, so they're the same octave and the same notes. The main hook sounds like this.
You could start a war inside my head.
And then double number one sounds like this.
You could start a war inside my head.
So you could hear it's the same words, it's sang the same way, but you could tell that it's a different take. You can't just duplicate the main vocal either and make it work as a double, because you'll run into phasing issues and it'll sound weird. The second double sounds like this.
You could start a war inside my head.
Now we have 3 different takes. So here's what we do when we have a main vocal and then 2 doubles. We put one double into the left ear and then the other double into the right. Now you don't always have to do this, but it sounds pretty good and it's worth trying. So now our hook vocal sounds like this,
You could start a war inside my head.
instead of this.
You could start a war inside my head.
Hear how much electricity just popped in to the energy of this vocal?
You could start a war inside my head.